Hey Paul, welcome to the Community Living Golf Tournament. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll also just go ahead and slow that down for you and put you back in your dress position, and we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. So I've got you back here in your dress position. Let's just first of all take a look at your posture. Your spine is straight and on a slight tilt. Legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. You do hold your arms out in front of you, and then the club works down to the ball. So if I were going to work on your golf game from this vantage point, I'd probably just get you to stand just a little taller with respect to your spine. Just get you to unlock your legs as opposed to bending them, and then definitely get you to hang your arms down so that your hands are locked closer to your thighs, and then let the golf club work out to the ball. I'd also probably get you to just sort of, once we were in that unit, just sort of rock forward a little bit. Just making sure that you're athletic ready and on the balls of your feet. So right now you sort of look like you're sitting back on your heels a little, reaching with your arms, bending your knees a little bit, and we just like to sort of refine that posture starting position just a hair. At this point in time, we can take a look at your alignment. We can see your feet aiming out in this direction here. Theoretically, your club face is supposed to be running parallel to your feet, and parallel lines on camera would have an appearance of converging, but nonetheless you are definitely set up down into the right corner of the fairway. Obviously the center of the fairway is back over here, so we're going to see some form of a compensation in your golf swing that's going to try and get the ball back to the left, whether that's swinging the club on plane and over releasing the club to make it start at yellow and draw to red, or whether or not you come over the top and try and pull it from out to in. At this point in time, just do a little split screen comparison here between you and Brandt Snedeker. We've got some color-coded lines up on the screen. They're just here for visual reference as it pertains to swing plane. And we can see here as Snedeker initiates his takeaway, he creates good shoulder rotation, draws his arms and hands back as well as the club. And we see the club coming back on plane. Just means the club's coming back directly along this red line. From here he's going to continue to turn. He's now going to incorporate some wrist hinge into play, which is going to transition the club head from being below the hands to now being above the hands. At this point in time he continues with that rotation and works the golf club from red up to yellow. When we finally set the club at the top of the backswing, we're going to see a left arm in the club on the yellow line, full shoulder rotation, and he does this about a very stable right leg, keeping the weight on the instep of the right foot. As we watch you draw your golf club back here, we can see that you sort of pick the club head up outside, got a lot of unnecessary activity happening with your left knee and your left foot. Your left lower side should just really give way to the fact that we're rotating, whereby the knee just sort of simply rolls in, as does the instep, and doesn't need to come off the ground. Anyways, at this point in time, you continue to pick that golf club up. You get some wrist hinge happening. You start to lay the club back off because your subconscious brain knows that it's got to be over here to create any power at all. And then when you finally get to the top of your backswing, you're in a pretty decent position. I mean, you've rotated. You've got a pretty stable right side. You have fallen to the outstep of your foot. You're not keeping that weight on the inside part of the right foot. And now your left leg is in a pretty decent position, so you created some unnecessary action to begin with, but then you toned it down by the time you got to the top. As we go ahead and create a transition back in the ball, simply want to move our weight from our right foot to our left, fire our knees and our hips to the target, unwind the core and fire the hands, and in doing so we got to bring the golf club from yellow back down on top of red. And that's exactly what we can see here with Brandt Snedeker. The golf club has returned back to being on plane. The other thing we want to point out at this stage of the golf swing is the relationship between the lead form and the golf club. Refer to this as the backwards check mark. Simply means the club head is still above and behind his hands, and then he's retaining angle coming into the shot, which is going to allow him to create a lot of power in his golf swing, let alone allowing him to hit the ball straight because the club is returned back to plane, as we already pointed out. With your transition back into the ball here, nice dropping in the hands and arms, sort of pushing the club out in front of you though. And if we continue to track the club head here, we're going to see this club head fall out in front. So it's traveling down yellow, out towards blue, and then out in front of blue. And you're ultimately going to be attacking the ball now from what's referred to as outside to inside. Okay, so there's your descending plane. It's over the top, coming into the ball too steep, not returning back to plane, meaning that it's not returning back to the original red line. We can see with Snedeker here, as he comes into the golf ball, he simply comes into the golf shot directly from this red line, directly from plane. And this is what's going to allow us to hit a straight golf shot in accordance to our alignment, assuming that the club face squares up via having a good grip. So the three most important things we need to have consistency and hit a ball straight are: we have to aim correctly, meaning our feet have to run parallel to our club face, the target line. Club has to swing down on plane, and we have to square the club face up. At this point in time, we had already mentioned that you're aiming out to the right. We can see your downswing plane is coming over the top. At that point in time, you're simply going to just be trying to compensate with your club face and likely try and leave it open a little bit and sort of pull straight that ball back online or hit a bit of a pull fade. So what we can do here is take a look at the swing pass. We can see that Snedeker's club is slightly inside the ball, expands out to make contact, and then moves through on a nice natural subtle arc. Your club it came from the outside, and watch where it goes now. It comes down and across. You can see the path of the club here. Simply put, if we square the club face up to that swing path, all that's going to happen here is we're going to pull the golf shot over in this direction. So let's go back down to address again and reiterate what we had talked about first and foremost. We had said that your alignment, your feet were a little bit closed, parallel lines, club face, you're set up to hit the golf ball here. Basically what we've got is the center of the fairway back over here. So that's your compensation. When you come into the golf ball, you're coming into the golf ball from an out to in path. Your club's attacking from the outside, it's moving to the inside, and you're simply trying to pull the ball down the yellow arrow towards, let's just change that, down the yellow arrow to the yellow flag. Okay? Now the issue with this is if you over-release the club with this out to in path, not only will you pull the ball, but you'll pull draw or pull hook it. If you under-release the club, then you'll pull fade it or pull slice it. Ball won't start as far left, but then it has left to right spin, and it's going to slice off to the right. If you time it perfectly, then it'll stay at the yellow flag, or you might hit just a little bit of a buttercut, and that shot's not going to hurt you at all. So the end result of your golf shot is solely dictated based on the timing of the club face. When we're swinging the club from out to in and we over-release the club, it's going to follow the yellow arrow and then continue to follow those other little yellow arrows. If we under-release the club, it's going to follow yellow and then follow the red arrows. And if we time it perfectly, then we'll hit what I refer to as a pull straight shot that goes to the yellow flag, or we just hit a little buttercut and it follows those blue arrows. As we continue to watch you move through impact here, with that club movement out to in, only thing we really want to pay attention to now is the finish, where Snedeker's right heel is off the ground at point of impact, and as he drives through, that right heel keeps coming up off the ground, finishes up on the toe of the right foot. We can count all the spikes in his right shoe, and that simply means that all his weight now is on his left side. He's posted up nice and tall on his left leg, hips have squared around to the target. He's maintained a resemblance of his spinal tilt that he had at address. His hands are high with the golf club. As we watch you move through, we can see you're a little flat-footed on your right foot through impact, and then as we drive through, that right foot really doesn't come off the ground until a little bit late. So you want to learn how to create a little bit better footwork through to the finish, learn how to stand up a little taller on your left side. So just get up on your toe, your right foot, stand on your left side. The rest of the finish looks pretty decent there. Overall, some good athleticism with respect to your golf swing. Your hands work real well. They come back, they fire through. You do have a little bit of turn coming back and uncoiling going through. That could improve upon a little bit. And then you've got a little bit of footwork that's helping you get through to the finish. Definitely want to refine your posture and your arm relationship to the golf club as you set up to the ball for sure. Definitely need to improve your alignment. And then from here, want to learn how to make a backswing that has better rotation and swings more inside and around your body. And then from there, learning how to bring the golf club down on plane, not from the outside. Because again, the three things we need to be consistent and hit the ball straight are: we need good aim, good downswing plane, and a good grip to square the face up. Right now, you don't have any three of those due to the fact that we're aiming out to the right, we're coming over the top, and at that point in time, it's really not going to matter about the club face because you're simply trying to compensate anyways, probably trying to leave it open. In this particular swing, let's try and catch the ball here a little bit and sort of see, sorry, don't know why that's not grabbing, and let's scroll that back And let's just check out. So you definitely had the ability to pull the ball back towards the intended target in reference to where you're aimed. So again, what that ball does in the air will be indicative of what that club face did through that out to in path. All right? Anyways, hope you had a great day. Hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video. And if at any point in time you ever want to work on any aspects of your swing, I'm over at Glen Abbey in Oakville. And also if you're ever involved with any golf tournaments and looking for a unique gift to provide to the participants, certainly feel free to reach out. All my contact information is at the end of this video.